Okay, I've made my wet mount. Now I'm ready to look at it through the microscope. There's a couple of things we want to do to make sure that we always use the microscope right. So I have my slide. The first thing we do is we move the stage as far down as it'll go using the coarse adjustment knob. And once the slide is all the way down, we want to make sure that we're using our smallest objective here. So slide your nose piece around to make sure that small objective is being used. And the idea here is we want as much room as possible when we put the slide in, because the edge of your slide can chip or scratch the objective lens, and that'll ruin the microscope. So now that we have a nice amount of space to work, we can carefully slide our slide in place on the stage and hold it down with the stage clips. Your stage clips might go over the top of your slide. Mine holds it from the edge. Now our next step is we want to make sure that the cells we want to look at are going to be above the light. So we first find our power switch and turn on the light. And then we move our cells so that we see the light shining through them. And we can just use our eyes for this. We don't need to actually look through the microscope yet. Now, looks like our slides are lined up. Now, all we need to do is look through the microscope and start moving the slide up until we start to see our cells. Okay, I can see them. And you might want to use your coarse or your fine adjustment knob to make things look really sharp, as well as adjusting the amount of light, and just kind of play with things, moving them back and forth, just so things look really good. The last thing you might want to try is adjusting your iris, and a lot of times the iris is a dial or a lever that's on the condenser, although sometimes it's a dial right on the bottom of your stage too, or even on top of your light. And as you move that iris back and forth, what you should end up with is a really nice sharp image. Now we're only using the 4x magnification right now, and I can turn that up to 10, and if I look through it should stay nice and focused, although sometimes you do need to use your fine adjustment just to tweak it a little bit and maybe add a little more light or change the iris just a little bit, just to make everything look really good. Now on some cells you might even want to go up to the 40x as well. And so right now I slid the 40x into place, and you need to be very careful when you're using the 40x magnification, because your objective is very, very close to your microscope slide. So it's really easy to scratch or damage the slide. So whenever you're using the 40x, you never want to use the coarse adjustment knob. Only your fine adjustment, and only just a little bit. Whenever you change objectives, things should stay nice and in focus. Now some microscopes, like this one, have a 100x objective. And the 100x is used for a special type of microscopy that we're not going to do. So you should never need to use your 100x in this class. And you probably don't want to use it because we don't have the right equipment and we can end up damaging or scratching it. So make sure you're only using the 4, 10, or 40x objectives when you're looking at your cells.